Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Samuel, and in today's video, we are going to look at how to build an inventory management system in Excel. This system will have features such as tracking stock, updating inventory level, setting reorder alerts, and more. Whether you run a small business or managing personal items, this tool will save you time and effort. Let's jump right in. Okay, so first let's create an inventory table. We already have a raw data here. Let's increase the font first. So press Ctrl plus A to select everything. Then increase it to 14. So for the opening stock, we have the item ID, item name. We have the category, opening stock, the reorder level, have the purchase price, selling price, then total value, the value of the stock. So let's first convert this to a table. So we select everything, then click Ctrl plus T. The create table pop-up will appear. We already selected the range, so you leave it like that. Then check my table as headers. Okay. And we have table for the opening stock. So let's select filter button. Let's select from column A up to H. Click on merge and center, then left align. Let's give this a color background of green. Give it a font color of white and make it bold. Let's increase the font size to 38. Align it. Merge and center, then left align. Now we have table for our opening stock. Next, let's find the value of each item. So to find the value, type in equal to the opening stock quantity times purchase price. Click on enter, and that will give us the value for each item. Let's format this to have the Ghana cedi symbol. So select all the currency, come to number, click on the down arrow here. Let's come to currency. Then another symbol, let's search for GHC. Let's choose the GHC. Okay. Now we have our Ghana cedi symbol. Now let's work on the closing stock. For the closing stock, we are not going to type everything in again. We are going to filter out. Instead of typing the item ID, the item name and category all over again, we are going to filter it out. So automatically, when the user adds an item, it will automatically be populated in the closing stock. Let's format this. Okay. Merge and center. Left align. The background color, let's make it green just like white, then make it bold. Let's select everything and double click to increase the width. Let's copy one cell in this table. Select everything. Right click, go to paste special and select format. So first to do this, let's select this table. For easy identification, we want to create a name range for each of the columns in this table. So we select everything, come to formulas. Then from the define names, you select create from selection. You want to create a name from the selection, which is this table. And you want to use the top row, which is the table headers for the name. So click on OK. Now you have created a name for each of the rows here in the opening stock table. Now let's come back to the closing stock data and type in equal to filter. The first parameter is the array. The array we want is the item ID, comma. So the second parameter is include. Which array do you want to include? You want to include the item ID. If the item ID is not empty, and close the parenthesis. Press on Control plus Enter. Now we have filtered out all the item ID from the opening stock table. We are going to do the same thing for the item name. So that is equal to filter. This time the array will be item name. We want to include the item name if it is not empty. close the parenthesis, enter. So I'll do the same thing for the category, the reorder level, and get back to you. We have filtered out the category, opening stock, reorder level, then the purchasing price. So let's format this to have the Ghana cedis. Boom. Another number, then go to currency, search for GHC. So for purchase and sale, for the next, we are going to look at our purchase table and the sales table. Let's try this out here. If the user has another item, so we have P006. So for the category, instead of always typing in the category, let's convert this to a drop down. So let's select this. Come to data, then data validation. Let's select list and type in first is office, mount, electronics, and let's add food and click on OK. I've converted this to a drop down instead of typing it in manually. So now we've added our item ID. Let's add item, let's say Milo. Then for the Milo, let's select food is food and quantity. The opening stock is 10. The reorder level is 50. The price, let's make the price 10 cedis. That's the purchase price. The selling price, let's make it 12 cedis. And we have a value of 100 cedis. Now we can see it has been added to the closing stock automatically. Let's copy this and bring this page. And let's select the format. Next, we are going to create the purchase and the sales table. So let's rename this to product. Now let's create our purchase table. Our purchase data will be in the sheet 2. So let's come to sheet 2. In the sheet 2, we have raw data here. Let's rename this to purchase. Press Ctrl plus A to select all and change the font to 14. Let's make this 36. Find it. Let's underline. Let's select from click on merge and center, left align, give it a background of blue with the font color of white and make it bold. So you want to convert this to a table as we've done before. Let's select everything. Then select my table has headers. Let's deselect filter button. For our purchase table, we have date, item name, item ID, item name, quantity, that is quantity purchased, units price, then the total value. For our first purchase, let's enter 1st of January 2024. Let's keep the item ID. What you want to do is we want to populate all the item name here so that we can select it from a drop down. So to do this, you have to create a drop. Let's select the item name, go to data, then to data validation. Under the settings, let's select list. So where is the item name? The item name is in the opening stock table, and we created a name for it. The name we created was item name. So we will type it equal to item name, item underscore name. That was the name that we gave to that. And click on OK. So now we have a drop down of all the item names from the. So now what you want to do is after you've selected the item name, the item ID, then the purchase price. That will be the. How do we achieve this? We can achieve this by using the X lookup. So let's type in equal to X lookup. The first parameter is the lookup value, which will be in cell C6, which is where the item name will be. So C6, comma, the lookup array, that is where are you looking for that item name. So it is in the item name. When you find the item name, what do you want to return? Which is the return array. Want to return the item ID and close the parenthesis. Let's control plus enter. And we have the how many did we buy? You bought 20 pieces of pen. The unit price, and for the unit price too, you want to bring in the purchase price. That will be equal to X lookup. Value is the pen. We want to find the pen. Where do you want to look for the pen? We want to look for the pen in the item name. When you find it, you want to return the purchase at 0.4. So now we want to find the total value. That will be equal to the quantity times the purchase. That will give us the value. Let's format this. Let's come to home. Down arrow here. Currency. Let's, let's add another one. So on the same first of first 2024. Okay, so this one will give us here. So what can we do to this? Let's come it to the first formula and add another formula, which is if this results in error, what do you want to do? Want to if error, leave the space empty. Let's do it for this one also. On the same 1st of January 2024, we bought a notebook, which will bring in the notebook ID, the purchase price. Let's say 20 again. Let's add another one. On the 3rd of January 2024, we bought a pen again. Let's say pen of 10, and this will give us the total. Next, we are going to look at how you can create the sales table. So the sales is similar to the purchases. A sales table will be in the sheet 3. So we have the raw data here. Let's rename this to sales. If this 36, find it. Let's convert this to a table. Control plus T. Select my table as here. Let's filter button. We don't want the filter. Let's say 1st of January 2024. Item name selected. Let's come to data and data validation. Select the source equal to item underscore. And we have the name. Used X lookup. Up value is in C6. The lookup array, which is the item name, and the return array will be the item ID. Then you used if error. So if it results in an error, you want to leave it empty. Let's select the item. Let's increase the font. Quantity, let's say we sold 30 pieces that and the unit price. Okay, so for the unit price, let's copy the lookup function here and come and paste it in here. Let's change this to, let's click on this, which is where the item name is. And this time we want to return the sales price, selling price. So we want to return the selling price. So for the value, that will be equal to the quantity multiplied by the, let's put this in, I'm going to leave it empty. That is it. Let's format this to get the currency symbol. Let's add another sales. So, in 1st of January 24, we sold notebook, 30 pieces of notebook. So that is it. We've created the sales table. So now that we have our purchases and sales table, we need our closing stock. So let's come back to product list, and we need our closing stock here. So to find our closing stock will be equal to opening stock plus, this is, let's put this into bracket, minus, that will give us our closing stock. Let's drag this to fill the rest of the rows. How do you get our purchases for each of the items? Our purchases are in this table, which is the purchase table. So first we will need the item ID, then we need the quantity. So let's name it. Another way to name the range of cell is by selecting the range of cell, come to formulas, then click on define name. So the name that we want to give is item ID, then add in purchase. The range of cell we are referring to, we have already selected that. So let's give the quantity to a name. So let's select the quantity, then add purchases. We already selected that, so let's click on OK. Now let's come back to our product list. So to get all the purchases for that particular, we're going to use a formula called sum if. Sum if sum a range of cells based on certain criteria. So you type in equal to sum if. So you want to sum the range item ID purchase. That means we want to sum the item purchase. Which criteria? We want to sum it if that range is equal to this item, and the last parameter, which range do you want to sum up? You want to sum the quantity purchased this column. Then going to see. Click on this will sum up all the purchases for this particular item with the ID 001. Let's drag the formula to build the rest of the cells. So we have the notebook purchases of 20. We have printer which is 0. We've not made any purchase for print. Stapler, we've not made purchase for it. USB, then Milo, we've not made any purchase for it. We are going to use the same logic for the sales. So let's come to the sales sheet and create a name for this. My name, item ID, sales. Let's select the quantity, define names, add. Let's come back to our product list. Now you want to find the total sales equal to sum if the first parameter range. Which range do you want to sum? Want to sum the item ID. Want to sum it, which is the criteria, if it is equal to. Which range do you want to sum up? You want to sum up the quantity sales column and close the parenthesis. Let's drag it and fill the rest of the cells. Let's make another purchases for notebook. Now the notebook is 20. So let's come to purchases and say on the third, made a notebook purchase. Notebook purchase of, let's come to the pen. Now we have a notebook purchase of 50. So sum up all the notebook purchases that's in our purchase table. Let's come to sales and let's make a sales. End of 1st of January 24. Made sales of pen. And now we can see that we made a pen sale of 50. And this will add up to calculate our closing stock. So we have a closing stock of 30. Okay, now let's add conditional formatting to our closing stock if it falls below the reorder level. So this is our closing stock, and we want to format it to alert us if our stock is below the reorder level. So let's select the closing stock, come to home, then to conditional formatting. Let's select new rule. And then under the new rule, let's select use formula to determine which cells to format. We have a whole tutorial on conditional formatting on our channel. So the formula is equal to if this cell, which is P1, we don't want to absolute reference it, so let's delete the dollar sign, less than or equal to our reorder level, which is in this cell. I don't want to reference that one too, so let's delete it. Want to format it. We want to format it. Let's give it a fill of red. Font color, let's make it okay. Okay. So now right now you can see that the paper ink is equal to our reorder levels. We have to order. Then the Milo, which is 10, and the reorder level is supposed to be 15. So we have to place an order. Next, let's find the total value. So the total value will be equal to our closing stock times our order. Let's drag and fill the rest of the rows. And to make the system more better, let's add another reorder alert. This time we are going to use formula to alert that if our stock is running low. So we type in equal to if, open the parenthesis. The logic is if our closing stock less than or equal to or reorder level, we want to alert order now. Reorder now. And comma. If it is false, we want to say in stock. Okay, there's an error here. So let's see what the error is. Okay, so it's here. You have to add a closing quote. Then click on. Let's drag it, fill the rest of the rows. Let's conditional format to highlight the reorder now. Select this, come back to conditional. Let's have on the highlight cell rule and select test that contains. As that contains reorder, I'm going to highlight it red with the dark red text. And right away we can see our reorder. Okay, now for easy navigation, we want to create a navigation bar to navigate in between the sheets. So let's come here and select two cells. We want to add two cells. So we've inserted two cells here. Let's increase this width. Come to insert, and under the illustration, you want to add shape. Then select rectangle. And with the shape selector, let's come to shape formats and give it a color fill of blue. Let's use our let's add a logo here. So go back to insert, under illustration, let's select picture from this device. Go to document. I have a logo here, so let's add this logo. Let's size it and bring it to the middle. Now I want to add navigation menu. When the user click it, to take the user to the various sheets. So to do this, let's come back to insert. And next I want to insert text box. So let's select text. Let's come to shape format. We don't want any outline. So let's click on outline, say no outline. And the field, we don't want any field. So let's and give it a name. The opening stock. The first menu will go to the opening stock sheets, which will be the where the opening stock and the closing stocks are. So opening, let's increase the font size. Font size to make it bold. Font color of white. Middle align and that's the opening stock. Copy and paste. Let's create one for the purchase. So you want a navigation to the Control plus C and Control plus V. We want to create for sales. So now we have to link this to a sheet. So select that, right click and go to link. We want to link it to a place in this document. So we want to link it to the product list sheets and click on OK. Let's do the same for the purchase. Right click, go to link and close this. The cell reference, we want to link into the purchase sheet. Click on OK. Select the sales. We want to link the sales to the sales sheet. Select the sales sheet, then click on OK. So now when you click on the purchase, this will take you to the purchase table. When you click on the sales, this will take you to the sales sheet. Now let's come to this purchase. Let's insert two cells. We want to bring navigation to all the sheets. So let's select everything. Let's select this also. Right click on it. Want to group everything together. Copy. Let's bring it to this sheet, which is the first. So this was size with the so let's with the shape selected. Let's come to picture form. From the size, let's click on this down arrow. And the property, let's select don't move and size with cells. Let's adjust this. Okay. I've noticed that this is green, so let's fill this green instead of blue. Let's do the same thing for cells. Copy it and bring it to this. Let's fill this green also. So now when you click on the opening stock, this will take us to the opening stock. And when you click on the purchases, this will take us to the purchases we can make. When you click on the sales, this will take us to the sales sheet and our sales transactions. And that is it in this video. We now have a fully functional inventory management system in Excel that tracks stocks, updates your inventory, makes sales and purchase transactions, and even provide reorder alerts. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this. Let me know in the comments what projects you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.